to Red Roped Diaries. I'm Margot, your host, and I'm here with Danny Amaya, also known as Mr. Bones.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing, Danny?
Doing good. Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Last time we spoke was a couple
During
years
COVID.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, we spoke during COVID. So we were on lockdown, so you weren't really doing any events
yeah,
then.
yeah.
So tell me what you've been doing since COVID. What's up?
So I pretty much blew up on social media ever since then. I have like 1.2 million social media followers in total across all platforms. And
What's your strongest platform?
TikTok.
TikTok. Okay, yeah, I've been seeing you on there.
TikTok, yeah. So, I've been working on a lot of music. I lost my mother on New Year's Day to cancer. She lost her battle to pancreatic cancer. So, I decided to release at least an EP or something once a month in her honor, like to keep going, not give up on my music. Because I know she wouldn't want me to stop doing what I love.
No, she would not want you to quit.
So yeah, I've been putting out EPs, tracks here and there. I've been working on a lot of disco house, Afro house, tech house, some Spanish music,
So
and
you're doing much more now than Psytrance.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. And
So,
I haven't been really I haven't really performed any shows in the past 2 years ever since my mom was diagnosed.
right.
But I'm starting to get back into it. Last Saturday, I played at a restaurant out in Upland, California,
Okay,
which was
good.
pretty good to. It was good to
Yeah,
perform.
I was worried about you because
Yeah,
I know you really loved your mom, and your
yeah.
mom was your biggest fan. So I was wondering how you were gonna do this, how you were gonna do your gig. So is your dad now helping you then,
Yes, my
or
dad. Yeah, yeah, yes.
um, so is your dad now gonna become like a raver?
Well, yeah, he's not really into that vibe. So I haven't been to a festival since 2024. So
Okay,
yeah, because he's not really into that. I did play at a warehouse at an underground like a month ago.
okay.
You know how undergrounds are. And he didn't really like the vibe. He felt scared. So he's like,
Yeah,
we're
it's.
not going back there.
Oh, he
So
didn't want to. You know what?
no.
You might have to hire. You might be able to hire somebody.
Yeah, but the thing is, with my medical conditions and all the medical equipment I have, you have to be specially trained. So it's pretty much only
I
my team
see.
that can take me.
So let's get into that because I don't think people really understand how not easy it is for you to go out and
And go
perform.
around and get around. Yeah.
So let's reverse a little bit. I mean, I know you have fans that do know about your medical condition, but let's talk about it.
That
So
know or are unaware of what I have.
there's a lot of people that don't know. So let's talk about it. So what were you born with? What do you have?
So actually this week is the OI awareness week, which OI is Osteogenesis Imperfecta, which is the bone disease that I was born with.
What a
So
coincidence.
from May 6th to May 13th, it's OI week. And I consider
Okay.
it Mr. Bones week because, Mr. Bones
Aw.
is so I consider it like Mr. Bones week. And so I was born as normal, like a regular baby. But the weird thing was that I wasn't an active baby. Like I wouldn't crawl, I wouldn't turn around like on my back or my belly while I was an infant. So we found that my parents found that kind of weird.
Yeah.
And so they took me to the doctor. They would take me, and the doctor would just say, "Oh, he's a lazy baby." That's all they would say. They wouldn't like look into it or anything. And it wasn't until I turned 9 months old that I was on a baby walker. My mom was teaching me how to walk on a baby walker like any normal baby would, on those little walker things. And all of a sudden, my mom heard something crack, and I started crying uncontrollably. And she didn't know what was wrong with me. Like she tried to console me, like calm me down. Like she tried her best, and I just wouldn't stop crying. And back then, we had no form of transportation because my parents didn't drive back then. This was back in 1992, so 32 years ago. And so I live in the San Fernando Valley, and the nearest children's hospital is in Hollywood. So that's like a 40-minute drive in a car, but we had to take public transportation. We had to take the bus, so that was like double the time, because of all the
Terrible.
stops. So on the way there, I was crying uncontrollably the whole way, and we get to the ER, and the moment we get there, they see that my leg was broken, my femur. And the
Sure.
first thing they do is they call social workers, and
Of
they
course.
did my dad for child abuse.
Sure.
So call the cops, they handcuff him, they take him into custody, and they start questioning him. And they separated me from my parents, they took me into examination, and it wasn't until the x-ray technician was performing x-rays on my leg that he fractured my arm in the process.
And that's when they caught
And
it.
that's what they figured. They're like, okay, so this isn't child abuse. We're gonna let his dad go. He's in the clear. And then we started doing blood tests, DNA tests, MRI, CT scans. When they finally came down with the conclusion that I was born with osteogenesis imperfecta. There's many different types of osteogenesis imperfecta. I have one of the most severe types, type 3. There is a type where you either are born with broken bones or you're born at stillbirth, like you don't make it past birth.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but thankfully I don't have that type. And osteogenesis imperfecta comes along with other medical conditions along with it, like scoliosis, hearing
Yeah.
loss, dental problems, respiratory problems. So growing up, I pretty much in my whole life, I've broken my bones more than 300 times. And it's the way my bones break is slow. It's like any little movement causes a broken bone. Like if I sneeze too hard or if I cough too
Oh
hard, I could
God.
fracture a rib, Or a couple times I've been DJing and I
Yeah.
fractured my wrist during a performance. So
And
it's
so
like
what do you have to do once something's
So,
broken?
as I grew older, as I grew, they would take me to the ER for this, but then we realized that taking me to the ER would only make things worse because during the examination they would either make the fracture worse or fracture something else.
Sure, oh my God. I
So
didn't
my
think about
parents,
that.
they learned to tend the fractures at home. Now we just pretty much wrap it up in bandages and we leave it. Like I stay in bed for like a week or two without moving, and that should make everything.
Wow. So who
And
knows?
I do live in chronic pain 24/7. There's not a minute of my life that I'm not in pain. And if it were up to my doctors, they would have me on opiates. They would have me on 2 Percocets a day, which means that I would not be able to be productive. I wouldn't be able to be creative. I would be sedated 24/7. And not only that, but that also risks my breathing because opiates suppress your breathing.
It sure does. You're right.
So that can
The
lead you
nervous
into
system
respiratory
depressant.
failure. In
Wow.
2015, I went into respiratory failure twice at UCLA. Thankfully, I was already in the hospital in the ICU when it happened. I was admitted for pneumonia, for a potential pneumonia, and it was February 26th, 2015. In the middle of the night, I started coding. I couldn't breathe. My mom said that I was gasping for air. I was telling her that I loved her, that I felt like I was like dying. I was pretty much saying my goodbyes to her. You see all these doctors that rushing into my room with crash cards, with tubes and all this stuff, and they had to intubate me. And one of the things that causes my anxiety, my depression, and my 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 PTSD nowadays is that when they were bringing me back to life that day, they didn't fully sedate me.
Oh God.
So I was mentally aware of everything around me, but physically I was paralyzed. I couldn't
Sure.
even breathe, but I could literally see the doctors rushing to my bedside, putting tubes down my throat, bringing me back to life, all these machines. beeping, and to this day I still have nightmares, like, and
Oh, I'm
vivid
sure.
flashbacks to those moments, you know.
I'm sure.
And so they intubated me. They came down with the conclusion that it was a pneumonia, that I needed some help breathing. So they intubated me on a Wednesday night. Sunday night they extubated me like at 6 p.m. because they said I was in the clear, that the pneumonia was going away, that I was getting cured or whatever. Just to go into respiratory failure 6 hours later once again.
Oh my God, how
And they
scary.
had to intubate me again, but this time they sedated me correctly, you know. But still, you know, it was the same process all over again, having to intubate me and this and that. So then they started doing blood work, x-rays, and that's where they came down with the conclusion that due to my short stature and because of my osteogenesis imperfecta and my scoliosis and my small rib cage, I have the lungs of the size of a child's. My lungs didn't fully develop because of my rib cage. It didn't fully develop either. So my
Okay.
lungs are under pressure and they don't expand to their full extent.
Oh my
So
God.
what happened during those respiratory failures was I wasn't able to secrete or breathe out the CO2, the carbon dioxide. So my carbon dioxide levels in my blood reached 100%. I was literally not getting
Whoa.
any oxygen at all. So
Wow.
that's when my body just gave up on me, you know? So
That's,
that's when they told me, they were like, you either gonna have to live in the hospital connected to a ventilator, or you're gonna have to go undergo a tracheostomy, which is gonna cause you to lose your ability to speak, and you will never ever eat food orally again.
that's,
And it was one of the hardest decisions of my life. You know, I was barely. I started DJing in 2009, so I was like 6 years into my DJ career, you know?
yeah,
And I thought my life was over. Like, I thought
of
everything,
course.
you know, of course, they told me that there was a lot of risk associated with the tracheostomy procedure, like being paralyzed if they fractured my neck in the process, which scared the heck out of me, you know. And
I can
yeah,
imagine.
so, so we went along with the tracheostomy. Thankfully, no complications other than because I also suffer with a rare bleeding disorder. It's like
Okay.
hemophilia, but it's
Yeah.
called von Willebrand's disease.
Oh, okay.
So what the issue with that is that my blood doesn't clot correctly. So after my tracheostomy, I was bleeding internally from my throat, and I bled. I was pretty much bleeding out where to the point where my stool was coming out black because I was swallowing so much blood. And
Whoa.
I told one of the nurses that that day that my mom noticed my stool was black, we're like, you know what, his stool is black, and this means that there's internal bleeding, you know. And the nurse is like, oh no, he's okay, he'll be okay, it'll go away. And the poop, the stool kept coming out black and darker and darker. And we're like, can you please get the stool checked, like get it like evaluated, you know? So she took the diaper, but she never submitted it to the lab. Like a day later, I was to the point where I was so pale and I was so weak. They did a CBC, a complete blood count, and I literally lost like 2 liters of blood.
That is
And
insane.
filed a grievance against the nurse because she didn't do her job. I had to be given a blood transfusion. So I spent a month in the hospital after the tracheostomy because they had to train my parents how to use the ventilator,
Sure.
how to suction me, and all that. So I was discharged, and like they said, I lost my ability to speak. I wasn't able to speak at all, and that was one of the hardest times in my life, one of my
I'm
lowest
sure.
points. I hit rock bottom mentally because I felt trapped. I felt alone. You know, I couldn't
Of
express
course,
what
like
my
your
parents.
body already doesn't.
Yeah, I couldn't express if I had any pain. Like my parents couldn't tell if I was in pain or what hurt or if I needed anything. And then the fact that I couldn't eat food orally, I had to be fed through a tube during the holidays. That was one of my hardest. times because I'm Latino, I'm Salvadorian, I'm Central American. So at Christmas, the whole family united, we gathered at the dinner table. We have tamales, we have turkey, we have
Sure.
this and that, and I was just in my room Christmas Eve, just breaking down because my whole
That's so
family was
sad.
gathered at the kitchen table, and I was just in my room, just here crying my eyes off,
Oh,
because I couldn't
that's
eat.
sad.
And about a year into after my tracheostomy, I started medicating with THC, with medical cannabis. I used tinctures. What I would do is I would buy the tinctures and I would apply it via my feeding tube. Believe it or not, like a month or two later, I regained my ability to speak.
That's amazing.
It's like my lungs like developed, or I don't know what happened, what miracle,
Yeah, like you can't
you know.
explain it, but it worked.
Yeah, and my doctors, they were surprised because they told me that I would never regain my ability to speak. And so after my tracheostomy, like I said, I was 6 years into my DJ career. I pretty much was giving up, on my DJ career. I thought it was over. And then once I regained my ability to speak, it was go time. I was like, you know what? This is like my second chance at life. This is my Phoenix Rising moment.
Good.
And I took matters into my own hands. That's when I founded Schlumped Records, my record
What
label.
year is this?
16. So I started my own record label. I took matters into my own hands because I was tired of not being signed by anyone, not being noticed or taken up by anyone. So I decided to start my own label, and I started releasing my music. And like literally like a month or two after I started my record label, I got my first booking at a underground. I played side stage for Rob G, for hardstyle Gabba DJ Rob G.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I got a residency at Avalon Hollywood. And that year, in 2016, I opened for Wiz Khalifa, for T-Pain, and Osteogenesis in Orange County.
That's
And
awesome.
then in 2017, I opened for Snoop Dogg in Costa Mesa. And then
He's so cool.
everything just started falling into place. But it didn't take till we had our interview that I blew up after COVID, because the fact that everyone was stuck at home during quarantine and stuck at home scrolling on their phones on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So what I did during that time is I would stream every morning. Every morning at
Sure.
8 p.m. on the dot, I would start streaming DJ sets. Were like sharing my content all over the place. They would start sharing it with their friends. Back then, we had the option to host viewing parties on live streams on Facebook. I don't know if you remember that feature. Remember back then, where people would be able to have like viewing parties, and like it would alert all your friends that you were hosting a viewing party on the live stream or whatever. So I quickly started gathering followers left and right. I went from like 700 followers to like 20,000 in like a matter of 1 week after I started these daily live streams. And after that, before COVID though, I did play at EDC Las Vegas. I made my debut, and after that, I was discovered by one of my psytrance heroes or idols, Banjagora. I was from Mexico. He discovered me because I played one of his tracks at EDC, and he saw video of me. And the day after I performed at EDC, I was on my way home from Las Vegas, and I get a FaceTime from him.
That's cool.
Dude, I can't believe you play my music in Vegas. He's like, that's crazy. I didn't know people got down to that. He's like, you know what? Send me some demos, and I'll sign you to my record label, Alien Records, out in Brazil. So that was like my big first release on the record label. And after that, like I said, COVID came along, and then I became a household name during COVID. And after that, I started really going into the psychedelic trance scene. Like I literally during COVID, I did so much psychedelics because I had nothing else to do. And
Yeah.
so I experimented with psychedelics. It helped with my mental health, to be honest. Because like I tell people, like if I were to dose, like I'm not a harm to myself like other people are. Like if they go and do some trippy
Yeah.
ritual or any type of substance, they could go jump off a cliff or do something
Do something.
stupid. And me, when I
Yeah.
do it, I just sit here and I enjoy the visuals. I enjoy the
That's how
sensation that comes
you
off.
literally do take a trip.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I tell my followers, like, I'm not able to physically travel, but when I'm on psychedelics, it's like I could
That's your
travel,
way.
It's like my
Your
way
way.
of traveling, astral projecting or whatever.
Can I ask what your favorite?
It's like,
Um,
uh, it's, LSD.
yeah, I like LSD as
Yeah.
well.
I was
I might have to
good.
cut this part out.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
To
I was
to
booked for a couple psytrance festivals in the Mojave Desert in 2021 and 2022. One of the best performances I ever had in the middle of nowhere. After that, my mom got diagnosed with her cancer in 2024, so a year ago. It took her less than a year.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, she was
I
diagnosed
mean,
at
she
a
went
January
from a normal looking woman,
to frail and fragile. Yeah,
and then she looked like an old lady, just a sad old lady,
yeah,
and
yeah,
she was
yeah,
gone like that. And I was like,
yeah,
I was thinking about you, but I didn't know like, I mean, I didn't know how to reach out and like, what can I do from Chicago other than
yeah, yeah,
send my love? And
yeah,
I felt so bad for you because I know that.
yeah. Yeah, it's like
So
she was waiting. It was like she was waiting for the holiday season to be over, because right
I
on New Year's
yeah,
Day, that's when she
I
passed
saw
away.
that. That was so poetic. Um,
So,
Uh, Could you explain how the process of you going to a gig? Like how,
yeah, so
okay, so whether
so
it's your
pretty much,
mom or now your dad, like
yeah. So now my
how do you
dad's the
do
one that takes
this?
me everywhere. So the with my OI, with my osteogenesis imperfecta, I'm like I said, I'm in pain 24/7, and sometimes it's hard to get out of bed. There's times where I spend like a week or two in bed without getting out of my bed.
How
Like
how tall are you?
3 feet.
3 feet. How
Thanks.
much do you weigh?
Like 80 pounds.
Okay,
Yeah, so
so
a little meatball.
you would be technically the size of, I would say,
A little taller than Lou Verne, or whatever his name was.
you are very small.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so at least people are able to pick you up, but it doesn't take
Yeah,
one
but the thing
person.
is, with my OI, not
Yeah,
anyone can pick me up because I'm gonna end up breaking something.
right. So how do you do this so how do you
So what
leave
I'm
the
gonna do is I'm
house?
gonna send you a video so you can include it in the thing where my parents are transferring me from my bed to my wheelchair. So it
Please.
takes two people. My dad grabs pretty much supports my back and my buttocks, and my mom would support my legs, and they would transfer me that way. But now the one that helps my dad, since I no longer have my mom, is my 17-year-old sister. So
Okay,
we
so your
taught her
sister
how to
helps
do
you
it,
out.
and thankfully she's learning. She's been very helpful. She's turning 18 in September, and she's gonna step in as my mom's replacement for the in-home support services.
Yes, so I was gonna say, so is your sister getting like certified
She's
to
gonna
be
be when she
your
turns 18. Yeah, yeah,
live-in assistant, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
will
yeah,
she be able to get paid by the state
yeah,
and all that
yeah,
too? Okay, good.
yes,
Because that was
yeah,
another thing I wanted to ask before we get
yeah.
into how we move you around is how are you paying for this?
Thankfully, hopefully Donald Trump doesn't cut these programs, because I don't know how I would survive without all these programs that, you know, Medi-Cal, in-home support service, waiver programs. They all, like my
You
parents,
rely on all of that stuff.
my dad gets paid 24 hours of care.
Sure,
And
because he has, yeah, he is your
yeah, because
24-hour
we
live-in.
used to have a nurse, but like with my condition, I'm so fragile, like I said, that even to change my diaper, sometimes my dad ends up fracturing my leg, like in the process, and
Yeah.
that's my dad. Imagine someone that doesn't know how to handle me.
Oh my
So,
God.
so we had a nurse, and it got to the point where the nurse was just sitting there watching my parents do everything. So we were like, what's the
What's the
point,
point of this?
Yeah, so thankfully, the doctors wrote a note, and they told the state to give my parents those hours instead.
Good. And that note now transfers to will be
It's
transferred as well
sister.
to your sister,
Yeah,
your family member.
exactly.
So that at
Yeah.
least as your father ages,
We have that support, that
you have your
financial
sister
stability.
to help you. Okay, so now we know it takes a couple people to get you out of bed. You've got a
Yeah,
gig.
and after that, I have a portable ventilator on my wheelchair. I have portable oxygen, and I have a little computer mount on that my dad made for my wheelchair.
You made it,
And
of course.
yeah, he built it. Yeah, so we pretty much like mount the computer, and we have a conversion van, a Ford E150, and we've had since 2009. Pretty much since I started my DJ career, that van has taken me everywhere. It took me to Miami in 2013 for
Wow.
Ocean Music Festival. That's one of the whatchamacallit, the most memorable things that my mom, like, she went out of her way to drive me 3 days to Miami for me to enjoy Ocean Music Festival. You know, that's one of the adventures that I'm never gonna forget.
It's amazing.
Like, no other parent's gonna do that for their child. You know.
No.
So that van took me to EDC, took me to New Mexico, Texas, and but yeah, so that van has a lift where I can go in with my wheelchair, so I don't have to transfer like to a seat or anything. So thankfully, but traveling wise, like I cannot go on a plane because airplanes do not have wheelchair
You're
access.
it's not equipped.
Yeah, they're not equipped. Like, they say they are, but you have to pretty much sit on one of the regular wheelchairs, which I'm not able to because I cannot
And,
sit at
and
90-degree angle.
And that's what I was going to ask next.
Yeah,
You can't sit normally.
no, I
You have
can't.
to
No,
be constantly
I have to
reclined.
be reclined. Yeah, like at a 30, 45-degree angle.
Like right now,
Yeah, like
you're
this is
laying
my
down.
comfortable spot. Yeah, because a
Yeah.
lot of people ask me like, how do you eat? You don't choke? I'm like, no, I like,
You know what you're used your body's,
yeah,
you've
yeah, and
adapted at this
yeah, so.
point.
Yeah, so yeah, but if traveling was an option, I would pretty much be playing like the biggest festival in the world.
I'm
Because
sure.
I've been approached by Ultra Tomorrowland. I've been approached
Wow.
by the biggest psychedelic trance festival out in the Czech Republic. Is Master of Puppets, which is gonna it's happening in July. Yeah, so if I had the option to travel, I'd pretty much be all over the place, all over the world, you know.
You need a tour bus.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause, yeah, by land is the only way I can travel, you know.
Yeah.
But thankfully, in 22 days, I'm starting my Bones Beyond Borders tour. It's gonna be a virtual tour. The first stop is gonna be in Bangalore, India. And what we're gonna do is gonna be like a hybrid festival. It's gonna be a psychedelic trance festival. We're gonna have three DJs, myself, and two others supporting me. And
Okay.
I'm gonna be performing from a studio here in Southern California.
Very
And
cool.
we're gonna have big screens at the festival streaming my set live in India. And then the DJs that are supporting me are gonna be in person there performing
Sure.
before and after me to keep the party going, you know?
That's so cool. So
So it's
people
gonna be
are
like
figuring out a way.
this is gonna open many possibilities for me, you know? We
Yeah.
have 4 dates set. Well, not we don't have the dates like and locations yet, but we have the Bangalore ones set in stone for the 31st of March. And
Sure.
May, I mean.
May.
So for 22 days, yeah. So that's in Bangalore. It's gonna be at the Courtyard Marriott out there in Kabul, I think. And then we're hitting Pushkar, we're hitting Goa, and we're hitting one other city. And then from there, we're gonna expand to the rest of the world, hopefully. So
It's
the
amazing.
promoters, they said that whatever they're gonna take the overhead of whatever they invested into it, and then the rest of the ticket sale money and all that's gonna go towards me. So we're gonna
Oh,
donate
good.
all the proceeds because this production team, this promotion team, me and my mom personally, because they were the ones that booked me for the Mojave Desert raid. So they want to help me out financially because they know I've been going through it. Because my mom was
Yeah,
pretty much
you have.
giving financial support, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you're
and
dependent.
yeah, so I'm I'm putting together a compilation, a compilation that's gonna be releasing a week before Master of Puppets, the Psytrance Festival in the Czech Republic. We're getting together some of the biggest Psytrance producers in the world. It's like in protest of everything going on in the world. Compilation, which is being compiled by me, and it's gonna be released on one of Canada's biggest psychedelic trance labels called.
Okay, cool.
And the album is going to be called Drop Acid Not Bombs.
Nice.
So, yeah,
That's
so we already have like 6 packs compiled. We're trying to get more. We're contacting all the interested parties to submit their tracks because we need them, ASAP. We're releasing at the end of June, so we have like a month to go.
sure.
And so I have DJs from all over the world, producers hitting me up. They're like, Bones, like I made this track for your compilation. Can you please listen to it? And it warms my heart.
That's really cool.
And throughout the years,
You've
like
gone so far.
it's crazy because some of the DJs that I would look up to, when I was first starting out, are now in my contacts list.
It's so
Which is
cool.
crazy. Like I have Steven Yoki's personal number, I have Vina Vici's personal number. You
Look
know,
at
I
you.
Yeah, so I talked to Wookie, I talked to Tom Enzi, Hugo, Ronnie Bravo, all the big Afro House DJs that are.
Well, your music, you are very talented. I've listened
Thank
to
you.
it. So it's
And
it's
it's
not
crazy
like
because like if you see me DJ or if you see my reels or whatever, I DJ with one hand.
I know.
So I'm able to do what others only are able to do with 2 hands. I'm able to do it with one.
It's
So
amazing.
a lot of the big DJs that used to look up to, they're like, dude, like we look up to you because you're able to do stuff that we do, but with limited mobility, or limited.
You're almost more capable
Yeah, yeah,
versus the opposite being in this
yeah,
body that doesn't want to work for
exactly.
you. You force it to. And
Yeah,
and
yeah. I think
I
it
think
works.
that
One of my mottos is
so
adapt and
amazing.
overcome.
Adapt and overcome, and
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
mean, when I think about your perseverance and like not being able to talk and not being able like you're and I can't imagine how hard it is to be at a party. You're DJing a party. You're DJing a great party and you're in a chair.
yeah.
You're in a reclined chair.
I can't
So
really see the crowd either
yeah, so
because the
for you
computer is in my
everything's kind of
face. Pretty much, the
happening.
computer is in my face.
Yeah, everything's
Yeah,
happening kind of above you versus around
yeah, like
you.
having the whole view or whatever. Having it, yeah. So it's
That's
crazy,
amazing.
and
What's
so
the wildest gig you've had
all this gig, probably the desert ones in the Mojave.
in the Mojave?
Yeah, because I was, I
You're
was
out there.
going hard. It was sunset. It was at 6 p.m. The sun was coming down. It was a 3-hour set,
Nice.
and in the middle of nowhere, and people were just coming up to me. Like literally, there was a promoter uh, from across the seas that came up to me. They're like, "Bro, you could be throwing this set down in Czech Republic right now." They're like, people would go crazy, and I'm like, "Aw." So yeah,
It
so
might still happen. Whereas,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
talk to these guys. Would you be able to like travel if it was like first class?
If it was like probably like a military plane or a charter, like a private plane, probably.
So
There's a
start
possibility
telling
that you
people
could,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Let's
So
get you out there. Let's
yeah,
get you across seas and put
yeah.
you into those
Or get
gigs.
Elon Musk
Let's
attention.
manifest this.
Yeah, yeah. Because I did see recently that Delta just teased a new airplane or a new shuttle or whatever that looks like it's an actual like a hotel room inside the plane.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that could be one of
So
my
you would need
favorite.
something like that.
Yeah.
Odd question. If you were to get a gig like that, would that affect you or your family in terms of your passports
No,
and
because
ICE?
my whole family is legalized here in the U.S., so
Okay. I
thank
mean,
goodness. Yeah. I would
sadly,
have
that's a
these are going to
legitimate
have to think with
question.
with how things are right now, I'm glad my parents were able to get there.
It's terrifying.
Legalize, yeah.
It's terrifying.
Like I see on TikTok, I see on Instagram, like this little girl with cancer got deported. I'm like, how is that even ethical,
And these are,
Sad.
it's a strange time to be living in, and it's sad. I want to talk about when you're at home. You're always at home,
Yeah.
obviously, most of the time.
So
Are you?
what's my like my day to day
Well, yeah.
routine?
Like what's life like for you?
Okay, so I don't really sleep because a day before my mom's passing, I went to the psychiatrist for a routine checkup, and they diagnosed me with schizophrenia.
Hmm.
So on top of my anxiety, my PTSD, my ADHD, and my bipolar 2, I'm schizophrenic. So
Okay.
I don't sleep at night because I I have flashbacks to traumatic events that I've been through, like one of them being my respiratory failure. And when my mom was diagnosed with cancer, I didn't really sleep at all because I was scared to
You're
fall
afraid to fall
asleep
asleep and her
and
die.
wake up to her not being here anymore, which
Yeah.
actually ended up happening, sadly. The
You know,
day
but
she, the day
that
she
that is
passed away,
actually they
the
passed
day
away.
she
They
passed
wait
away,
for you. Yeah.
the day she passed away, I was taking a nap, and my dad woke me up. He walked into my room. He's like, "Danny, wake up." He's like, "Your mom's not breathing." I was
No,
like, "Why did I
she
fall?"
waited for you to.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
very common. Very,
yeah.
very common.
So I was like, so she
You did
like
nothing
stopped
wrong.
breathing, and then yeah. So like now I get my sleep here and there. Like they prescribe me medication for my schizophrenia, but I don't like taking it because that medicine knocks me out cold. Like
But you
if I take it,
don't you
literally
want to get
I would sleep like 24 hours, pretty much. And
Oh, it's that strong.
yeah, it's that strong. And I'm like on the lowest dose. And they prescribed me Ritalin to counteract the drowsiness, and to take
Oh,
control of my ADHD. But thankfully, my medical didn't cover it, so I'm not on that.
good. Yeah,
Which is why I take a lot of coffee. Which you might know that I'm a big coffee drinker.
I do know that you love your coffee.
Yeah. So
But
that's
I always worry about that because I'm like, he's got anxiety. I have really bad anxiety, so
yeah.
I love the taste of coffee, but I
The
can't
weird
drink
thing
it.
is it doesn't make me jittery. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, and
So your
like
heart
this,
doesn't start, your heart
no,
doesn't race.
no. I don't know if
I like
it's
my jaw, even my jaw will shiver.
yeah. Yeah, like literally, I can like the other day I ordered a matcha
Yeah,
iced latte with like 6 espresso shots.
you're crazy.
I was rolling. I literally made like 2 tracks that night.
I was gonna say if I was one of your family members, I would stay so far away from you and just like Danny, I'm sorry whatever's going on in there, you're gonna have to deal with it because you are on six
For
espresso.
real, but thankfully, like I don't blast my music. Like once it's like 9 p.m., because my little sisters, they have school, so I just
Sure,
leave my
sure,
computer speakers on. I don't use my monitors. But it's
sure.
weird because I get more creative at night. Like
Yeah,
it's like when nobody's around me, nobody's bothering me, or nobody's there to distract me.
I get it.
Yeah, so it's like I get more stuff done at night, and I usually go to sleep like at 8 a.m. and wake up like at 11 a.m. Like a 3 hour sleep is
So you do
enough.
like a little, you do like a nap type thing.
Yeah. I take little naps here and there. So
Wow. And
yeah,
so how are
but
you dealing with the pain if you're not on
so my
Percocets?
dad is against medical marijuana, which kind of like we kind of went at it when my mom passed away. I was like, I'm in pain, Dad. Like I need my
No,
THC
like this
and
is not
like
a
no
fight we can
THC.
have.
So we kind of went at it one day, and we argued. He's like, I'm not gonna be giving you this. I'm like, then what you want me to take? Like I'm in pain. Like if
He would rather you be doped up on an
yeah,
opiate.
I'm opiates. Yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't get it.
Yeah, he doesn't get it, yeah. And it took me going to my pulmonary doctor, and my doctor wrote me a letter saying that opiates are a danger to me
Way more dangerous for
because
you.
of my breathing. So he
It will
wrote a
kill
letter.
you.
yeah, he wrote a letter saying that my best option is taking cannabis. So
Yeah, like you won't die taking
yeah,
cannabis
so now
ever.
my dad's more lenient because he had my doctor's approval. But
Sure.
now I'm trying to find a way to go to the shop and get my medication because he's not willing to go for me. You
And your
know?
sister's not old enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, I
Do
have to find
you?
like a close friend or someone.
Yeah, so say, do you have any homies? Like, do you have any fans that are nearby that
Yeah,
are?
I have my one of my friends. He's visiting me tonight. He's coming from Long Beach, and I might tell him to drop by like a shop and get me some like gummies or something. You know?
I wish when I was living in California that I knew you were in this kind of situation.
Yeah, I have people that are willing to send me RSO, Rick Simpson oil, but the
Yeah,
thing is, since most of my liquids or everything I ingest is through my feeding tube, and the consistency of the
it's
RSO
too
is so
thick.
thick that it clogs up my feeding tube.
Can't do that. Okay,
So
so so you're unable to eat still?
yeah, no, I'm able to eat. I'm able. I was after I regained my ability to speak, underwent a swallow test, and I
Okay.
passed. No, I didn't aspirate any food. What they did is they put a camera down my nose and they made me eat like graham crackers and
Yeah,
applesauce,
yeah.
and they made sure that it wasn't going into my lungs. So I passed that. So I eat like one oral feeding a day. I limit
Okay.
it because since I'm not mobile and I'm not able to burn calories, if I were to eat only oral foods, I'd be a little picky, you know?
You
Yeah,
you'd blow up.
yeah,
Because with the
exactly.
Rickenson oil, we can make some like brownies and stuff like
Yeah, we could
that.
do that. Yeah, so I could make like cookies or
Okay.
yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
so
Good to know.
yeah. So if you know
Good
anyone
to know that
around
you
here
might
that
be
can
getting
take me
some
some
care
goodies, you know,
packages.
yeah. So yeah, because like I said, my dad's more lenient now after my doctor gave him the go ahead, you know, and
Yeah.
because he was
He does.
scared, you know, that because you know how the authorities are, you know, like
Of
if something
course.
happens to me and they come and drug test me, they're gonna blame him, you know.
They're gonna, yeah, he's your guardian, regardless of
Yeah.
how old you
So
are.
yeah, yeah.
Again, how
So
old are you now? Are you 34?
I'm turning 33 in August. Yeah, I'm a Leo.
Wow. And
Yeah,
I bet you nobody thought you'd get this far.
it's rare. Yeah, it's rare
Uh,
for someone to
I'm
go
so
on.
proud of you. All the time I see you. I like when you sing the corridos.
I'm supposed to be at I don't know if you've seen this guy named Italian Bellico on TikTok. He's like Indian. He wears a turban and he sings corridos. And we became friends on Instagram.
Good.
And he has less followers than me, but he blew up. Like he posted on Instagram the other day that the New York Times just contacted him for an interview. 'Cause he's unique because he's pretty much Hindu. He wears a turban.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Speaks Hindi, but he sings Spanish corridos. So tonight he's gonna be in Pico Rivera Sports Arena, and they invited me out to the show to go and hang out with him. So right now I'm trying to find a babysitter to watch my little sister, so my dad can take me because it starts at 6 p.m. my
Oh,
time.
how old is your sister?
I have an 11-year-old sister and a 17-year-old.
Yeah, the 11-year-old is much too young. We need to find a net. Hold on, my dog. No, sorry about that. We need to find a network near you that's
Yeah,
not going to exploit you.
yeah, yeah.
That you can
Like
that
right
you
now,
can.
his manager is kind of overtaking my bookings right now. Which I'm
Mhm.
glad he is, you know. So he got me the booking last weekend at the restaurant, and I did like a 3 hour set, and they paid me $300 plus dinner and drinks. So
Yeah, we
I
need
was
to get you a
happy with that.
crew.
Yeah,
You need to roll up. You need to have your crew. We need to be rolling up with a crew. We're gonna work on
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, exactly. And there's so
because
much
there's
my
gonna be
dad can.
people
There's
that
only so
wanna.
much my dad can do, you know.
Yeah, and he's
Like
getting older.
yeah, cause like if we go to a gig, like he doesn't really. My mom knew how to set up everything. Like she knew how to set up my speakers, you know, my mixer, and
That's
he's
your
good,
mom.
you know.
That's what
Yeah.
moms
So,
do.
like one time I had to play at a dispensary for my last year. My mom was already sick, so he brought me with. He took me, and that day we forgot like my computer charger. It was so embarrassing. Like I
Oh
was only
no.
able to
Well,
pay
well,
half the
that
percent.
happens.
Yeah, so So then we made sure, like, for the rest of the meetings, we made sure to pack everything, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do a
The
list.
checklist, yeah, checklist for
Yeah,
that.
checklist.
Yeah.
So,
I've been having my little issues here and there with relationship-wise, love-wise, you know. You see my emotional pose, my
you
little
are
depressed
so
pose.
emo. You are,
So
but you are a ladies' man.
I was dating a girl that I met at a nightclub that I used to play at Avalon, Hollywood. That we met back in 2019 for COVID, and I met her and I just fell in love with her.
Aw.
And I was like, she's gonna be mine one day. And we talked, we gave it a shot last year. Like, we started dating on her birthday, and she ended up cheating on me a week
Yeah,
a year ago on Sunday. It's gonna be a year on Sunday.
I saw that.
Found out through social media. She posted a story of her holding some guy's hand and
Yeah,
flowers on the other hand, and I was
I
like, that
saw the I saw
broke,
that.
it broke me to pieces. And I had hope to fix things between us because she's a
You
caregiver.
can't.
So I
Yeah.
was like, she came back, like she told me that she cheated on me because she didn't want to be with someone that was suicidal and bipolar. So I took that personally, you know. Um,
Yeah,
but
if you love someone,
afterwards,
you're supposed to love them no matter what.
so she was like, you became too negative in my life, so I'm gonna have to block you. So she blocked me, and 3 weeks later she comes back. She's like, baby, I miss you, I love you, this and that. I was like,
Be
okay. And
careful. That's big.
I
That's
just
manipulation. Be
I was
careful.
fresh, you know. My mom was freshly diagnosed, you know, and
Oh
she's
my
a
God.
caregiver, so I had hope of things working out in hopes of her being there for me when I no longer have my mom, you know. But it was just a toxic relationship all over, to be
No,
honest.
that doesn't sound
She
good.
she wanted me to pretty much take care of her.
Yeah,
She wanted
that
me
sounds
to
like
she wanted me to pay her nails, to get her pedicures, manicures, eyelashes, you name it. And
that's so strange because what like straight up, what
yeah.
kind of woman would want to take money from a man who can't get up and go
That doesn't
work?
even work. Like, she probably makes more money than me.
That's a predator. And so
Yeah.
you have to be careful for predators because someone
And
who loves you is
we
going to
were still
give to
talking.
you.
We were still talking till like a week or two ago, and she messaged me. She's like, "Babe, when are you sending me my birthday money?"
Don't
And
talk to her.
I was like, you know what? I didn't even reply to her. I didn't even open
Good.
her message. And then she texted me. She's like, you know what? I think we're gonna have to end this. And I was like, okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
And I
she's
was
trying to
like,
manipulate you.
yeah,
That's
I was like, I'm fine with
manipulation.
that. I was like, you know what? I lost my mom 4 months ago, and I'm not afraid to lose anyone else, to be honest.
You know what? That's a great attitude to have.
I told her, I was like, I've lost everything. I lost everything, pretty much.
Yeah, so what are you?
I'm not afraid to lose you. And she's like, you know what? You're always going to be single because you don't prioritize your partner.
You know, that's abuse.
And I told her, I was like, you know what? I prioritize you until I realize the
That
thing.
she was
Yeah,
not
yeah.
prioritizing you.
And she kept throwing at me that I wasn't spoiling her. And I was like, dude, like, literally, I just lost my mom. I don't have money. Like, what the heck? Like, I told, and then she had the audacity to tell me that I was gonna be single for the rest of my life. And I told her, I was like,
Danny,
you know what? I'd rather die single than date another snake like you.
Danny, this person is a predator and a manipulator, and you need to stay away from her.
Yeah, like, fully, I blocked her. She blocked me. We mutually blocked each other, and
I mean, I'm one to talk. I've had my own issues with my own partners, blowing up on my own social media.
and then after
But I'm
her,
glad to hear that you're busy still getting it on and getting it in somehow, you know.
after that fallout with her, I started talking to this girl from Texas, and it's crazy how, like, how ironic that girl was, or my situation with her, because we started talking, and she told me she would, like, when we met, she's like, you gotta stop spoiling girls that don't value you, that don't visit you, that don't give you their time or don't even care about you. You gotta stop spoiling women. You gotta stop sending women money from the get-go. I was like, okay, thank you. And fast forward to a year later, she told me, we're not gonna talk anymore because you're not spoiling me like you would spoil those girls that you would spoil back then. So I was like the iron.
Spoiling is reciprocal. She should be spoiling you too.
I was like in my head. I was like, I made a whole album like because I've been making a lot of cumbias lately. So
Yeah.
I wrote a cumbia called La Vividora, which is pretty much translated to a gold digger.
Good.
And yeah, so I pretty much like, yeah, I even say in one of my songs, I'm like, you're gonna be crying over me eventually, but you're gonna be hearing everything I've been doing through the radio. You're gonna be hearing me on the internet,
Yeah.
you know, and that's
You're
gonna
you're
be
not
how
going
it,
to be
you
there
know,
with me enjoying it.
yeah.
I
So that happened last month. She told me, you know what? She was like, "Oh, you're not sending me anything, so this has to end." I was
I'm going to tell you straight up, Danny. I'm 48 years old, and I've never in my life
taking anything
asked.
from that, huh?
I've never asked anyone to send me anything, and if they live near me, I've never been like, "Will you buy me this?" And I'm
Yeah,
48.
yeah.
So if there are girls that are asking you to buy them shit, that's your red flag to get rid of them
Yeah.
immediately.
And this girl,
Because they should be
she's
wanting to
like
give you things.
yeah, she's like a behavioral health therapist. She works with
That's a
kids,
shame. What a
and it was like
predator.
she was there for me. Like she was there, to, like she was my shoulder to cry on after this incident with this other girl, and she turned out to be the girl that she warned me about. You know, it's
That's
crazy. But right now I'm talking to this girl. She's a year younger than me because usually I've been dating girls in their 20s. I
yeah,
don't really date girls in my age. I
yeah.
tried dating a 35-year-old, like someone older than me, like a year ago. She lives in New Mexico. She's a dental assistant, but she was not an OnlyFans creator, but she would post provocative reels and pictures on social media, and she would not make time for me. Like she wouldn't call me. And what would piss me off is that she would post stories, she would post statuses, memes and stuff,
Another
but wouldn't take
predator.
the time to reply to me.
That's a
And
shame.
I told her, you know, this is not gonna work out. She's like, if you expect me to let my followers down, I'm not gonna do that. My page is more important than everything.
Good for
So,
you.
so
Well, that's good. It sounds like you have been keeping yourself really busy.
And so now I'm talking to this girl. She's 32. She just turned 32. She has two kids. She lives in Azusa, I think, like an hour away from here. And we've actually been talking for the past 6 years, and we've been like on and
Okay.
off. And she never asked me for anything. She,
That is a friend.
yeah,
That's a person.
she doesn't ask me for anything. Not even a birthday gift. Not even pedicures. Nothing. Like for Valentine's, you know how I collect those Funko Pops?
Yeah.
Last year for Valentine's Day, she's the first girl to ever get me a Valentine's. She sent me a big box full of Hello Kitty Funko Pops. I was
Danny,
like, and
I think we know.
it sucks because I kind of dropped her to go with this other girl that cheated on me. But then she like forgave me. I guess she really loves me, or I don't know, because she
I think
better.
we know. I think we know where you needed to be devoting your time
Because
towards.
I put her through hell and back in the 6 years that we've been talking, and she's still there. And
Wow, she must
yeah,
really love you. And I do know
yeah,
that kind of love for somebody. So
yeah,
you're a lucky guy to have somebody that loves you this much.
yeah, and
So what's up next for you? We've got a
so
few minutes left.
so we're planning that India tour, the
Right, the
cycling India
tour.
tour, and that album that I'm releasing, and then I don't know
What's the name of the
what
album? Do you have a name of the album?
drop acid, not bombs.
That's right.
It,
Drop
yeah,
acid,
it's
not
a
bombs.
protest for all the wars going on in the world, you know? Especially right now after the Palestinian Israel conflict, it's
Yeah.
really divided the psytrance scene really bad.
I'm sure it
Like, there's a
has.
lot of
And I've
hate,
seen the video of the whole
the
invasion,
festival,
and
the massacre, yeah.
that was
There's,
probably one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, to be honest.
there's artists on both sides of the spectrum, and it's sad, you know, that they bash each other, they hate each other, and
Well,
I'm
it's
through this compilation, I'm trying to bring awareness that, you
bring
know,
and bring
yeah,
togetherness.
yeah. So
When do you know when are you releasing that?
the end of June, the last week of
And
June.
how can people find it?
It's gonna be on Beatport, Spotify, Apple Music. So I sent you my Beatport link, so it'll be on
Yes,
there.
I'm gonna
Sent you
put
the
that with.
flyers for the India tour. I do have I've been every year, like twice a year for like the equinox and the winter solstice. My friend has like a little jungle property in Chiapas, Mexico, and he hosts festivals there. And what he had me do is he had me record like a 3 hour set, and he plays it over the system. And he's like, "Oh, this is
Awesome.
Mr. Bones going
Perfect.
down," you know. So we have that in August for my birthday. So
That's
hopefully
great. You've got
a lot more
and
original stuff, you know.
to find you on social media, it's Mr.
Mr.
Bones,
Bones, that's
Mizterbonezz.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
So thank you for joining us on
And
Red Roped Dairies.
if any artists or any business owners need any help, like getting the word about like the music, like musicians, they could come to me and I could use their music in my TikToks. Like I don't know if you knew,
That's
but
generous.
where like myself, I tend to make controversial content on TikTok, and I
Good.
embed my music into it, and
Good.
all it plays on that TikTok counts as plays on Spotify on my music.
Oh, that's good to know. And it
So
helps you
I
out.
get royalties. Yeah. So literally, there's some songs that have like 200,000 plays.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah. So like I post videos like of me getting suctioned, and I slap one of my songs onto it, and it blows up. The song blows up, and then I get royalties. So if anyone needs help, like getting the word out about their new music or any businesses that need me to promote them, like I'm willing to take donations and I'll help them with like marketing, you know?
Wonderful.
Yeah, because
That's
I have 53,000 followers on Instagram, 192,000 on Facebook, 120,000 on TikTok, and about 4,300 subscribers on YouTube.
I'm
So,
so proud of you. You've come so far since we spoke
yeah,
last. Keep going. And you know what? Next time I come to California, I'm doing everything I can to see you in person.
thank you. Sounds good. Hey,
I
we
love
might
you,
have
Danny.
some coffee someday.
I love you, and thank you for joining us on Red Road Diaries.